What's up, guys? My name is Gabe, and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are back with episode 7 of the Fall Camp Preview Series. We are moving along the defense, and today we are talking about the linebackers. Now, interesting thing about this linebacker room, is there a real set-in-stone concrete reason for me to feel so good about this unit? Absolutely not. Our best linebacker and overall most important player, in my opinion, Eric Gentry, has not proven he can stay on the field. Our starting Mike is a true sophomore that has not had this level of responsibility yet. And then there is no proven depth behind that. But for whatever reason, whether it's just DeAnt and Lynn overall, whether it's the hire of Rob Ryan, or whether it's the faith I have in these young guys, I actually feel pretty damn solid about this group overall. Probably more than I should if I'm being completely honest. Like, this video could for sure come back and bite me, because if Eric goes down or if Desmond isn't quite ready for that step, which I do believe he is, but this video could age like milk. So let's just get right on into it. Of course, if you guys are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want to help support the channel in a much bigger way, the Trojan Blade Patreon is the best way to do that. That is linked down below in the description. All right, having said all of that, let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, DeAnt Lynn's base scheme is a 4-2-5. What that means is there's going to be a Mike linebacker, and then you're going to have a Will alongside him. Now, on rundowns, he does like to use 3 linebackers. We saw that a lot last year. Towards the tail end of the year, Anthony Beavers was that third guy coming on. But the 2 starters here are very, very clear. We know who they're going to be, and I actually do think we know who the Sam is going to be, that third linebacker off the bench, but we will get more into that in a minute. First things first, let's talk about your starting Mike linebacker, Desmond Stevens. Now, Desmond's heading into his second year at USC. He is a true sophomore. Size-wise, listed at 6'3", 232 pounds. He did put on some weight this offseason. Now, for a true freshman linebacker to play for DeAnt Lynn, you have to be a very, very special talent, and Desmond is that to a T. Now, this is going to sound like kind of an obvious statement if you watched any USC football last year. Desmond Stevens' biggest strength is his ability dropping into pass coverage. And yeah, that's pretty obvious when you look at the interceptions, when you look at the big plays he made. But when I did my full season rewatch, not just the plays where he's getting those interceptions, which are massive, but the way he's covering halfbacks out of the backfield, the way he's manning up tight ends, the way he's so aware of everyone around him in his zone. He's advanced beyond his years, and that football IQ, that natural intelligence is what leads me to believe that he's going to take a massive step and have a big year. Contrary to popular belief, you cannot be a dummy and thrive at the linebacker position, especially at Mike. There is too much going on. You have to process too much information, and Desmond's going to be able to do that for us in this defense. All it takes is one look at him, and he has everything you would want in a modern-day Mike. He has the size, he has the speed, very rangy sideline to sideline. But his ability to make a major impact in the passing game, that's where his biggest value is. And overall, I cannot wait to see a full season of Desmond Stevens. I wish we saw more of him last year. And yeah, fully expect him to be flying all over the field. Now, looking at the will, I said it earlier, I believe Eric Gentry is the most important player on this team. Now, is Will Backer the highest positional value? Absolutely not. You're talking about quarterback, you're talking about center, you're talking about left tackle, wide receiver, edge rusher, corner. Off-ball linebackers are very, very low on the value chart. Having said that, the playmaking, the disruption, and the overall emotional uplift Eric Gentry brings this team is what makes him the most important in my opinion. Now, we all know the size, 6'6", 225, massive wingspan. When you're talking about a linebacker pairing of Desmond Stevens and Eric Gentry, what that gives you is you're going to control the guys in the middle of the field. Absolutely nothing against these guys, but when you're rolling out Shane Lee and Mason Cobb, you're going to have a massive vulnerability in the middle of the field in the throw game. But when you have these natural playmaking, disruptive, fluid athletes in Desmond Stevens and Eric Gentry, and I mean, just look at the size alone, 6'3" and 6'6", and Eric's biggest value with that comes with his arms. And that's not the only skill set Eric brings to the table. When he was at Arizona State, he was actually a pass rusher. Before he got hurt, he was flashing in a major way rushing the passer. He had a great game against Wisconsin doing that. And guys, we only got 5 games of Eric Gentry last year. 5. We need to do whatever we can. Pray to the football gods. Pray to your actual God. Do whatever you can to ensure Eric Gentry is on the field for every single game this season. This might sound hyperbolic, but I firmly hold the belief that if Eric Gentry is on the field and fully healthy, or relatively healthy, I think we beat Minnesota and I think we beat Maryland. There was a massive lack of playmaking in this defense last year. If Kamari Ramsey didn't step up and make a crazy play, and keep in mind he was hurt as well, then nothing would happen on this defense. We weren't getting home with the pass rush. We were not creating turnovers. So losing Eric Gentry was catastrophic in every single sense of the word. Getting him back fully healthy, he's put on even more size. The way he physically dominated LSU last year, I didn't think any more size was a necessity, but he does look a little bit thicker. And yeah, if this defense wants to be what we all think it can, Eric Gentry is going to play an enormous role in that. This is a guy I fully expect to be a team captain. Whenever you see people coming off the field, if the offense makes a big play or they score a touchdown, who's the first one out there hyping everybody up? It's Eric Gentry. He's a massive leader for this team. And yeah, I get why Lincoln Riley is taking Mekhi Lemon and Kamari Ramsey to media day. Buttoned up, professional, aren't going to say a lot. But I really wish he would have just said screw it and taken Jacoby Lane and Eric Gentry. That would have been must-see TV for sure. All right, moving on. Let's answer the question. Who's going to be the third linebacker off the bench? Who's going to be the guy that rotates in when someone gets tired, and who's going to play that Sam spot? Based on everything the coaches have said, the amount of times this guy's name has come up, I believe it's going to be redshirt freshman Jaden Walker. Size-wise, 6'2", 231 from the state of Michigan. Jaden Walker and Desmond Stevens both from the state of Michigan, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, no one has been getting more rave reviews from camp than Jaden Walker. Every single person I've talked to has brought him up specifically. And then you hear the coaches talking about it in the pressers. And yeah, they are very excited about this kid. This is a pure athlete, sideline to sideline. He's going to make a ton of plays, going to add a ton of athletic upside to this linebacking core. I mean, this is a guy that played wide receiver in high school as well as linebacker. And now that he's up to 231, and it looks like a really solid 231 on the pictures I've seen, yeah, I think he's going to be the guy. Now, when you keep in mind the injury history of a guy like Eric Gentry, I think that makes it even more crucial that Jaden Walker gets every single rep that's possible in those first two games. Throw him in there against Missouri State and against Georgia Southern. We've seen what Eric can do. He knows this defense. He's a very veteran player. Pull him out of there. Let Jaden play the majority of those reps. Next up, let's talk about Anthony Beavers. Now, he's obviously a converted safety. On the USC roster, he is listed at 6'1", 225. I don't believe that for a second. He looks much more like 215 to 220 to me. And yeah, he's not the biggest guy. He's not the fastest guy, not the strongest guy. But he does play very hard every single time he's out there. This is a guy that I think is very, very good to bring off the bench in a purely rotational standpoint. Like 5 to 10 snaps is his sweet spot. He can absolutely do a job for you in that capacity, but not someone you want to be relying on for major reps against big-time opponents. All right, next up, we're talking about the new guy, Tamir Robinson. He is a transfer from Penn State. This is a guy that transferred in the spring portal window. Now, he was not going to start for them, but he was going to play a role on that Nittany Lion defense. This is a guy that cut his teeth on special teams. Great character guy, really athletic guy. And this is someone that is going to be in the mix for playing time, in my opinion. Now, obviously, we haven't seen him at USC fall camp yet. We haven't really seen him in action for Penn State in a big capacity. So purely projection on my part, haven't heard anything about him since he got to USC. But coming from a program like Penn State, all that depth on the defensive side of the ball, you're probably getting a pretty good player here. What the ceiling is, who's to say right now? But yeah, Tamir Robinson is a name to know as we head into fall camp. Definitely going to be in the mix for some playing time. Next up, let's talk about fan favorite Garrison Madden. He's heading into his redshirt junior year, and this is your special teams ace. Not going to factor in on the defensive side of the ball, but he is a linebacker. He's very, very fast, as we all know, from the state of Georgia. Yeah, turn on any Trojan special teams, and you will see number 29 out there absolutely busting his ass for his team. Love Garrison Madden. Yeah, major shout out to him. And to finish off, let's talk about the two true freshmen. Now, these guys were not early enrollees. They are going to be there for fall camp, and neither of them are close to being ready to play this year, in my opinion. You have AJ Tuiteli from the state of Nevada, and then you have Matai Tagovailoa from San Clemente. Now, ceiling-wise, Matai's is a lot higher than Tuiteli, in my opinion. Just a more natural, fluid athlete, better football IQ right now, better instincts right now. Who's to say that can't flip? But yeah, don't expect to see either of those two guys this year. I would be beyond stunned if either one of them made an impact in their true freshman year, especially as late arrivals. But yeah, guys, that is the Trojan linebacker room. I'll tell you, going over the course of this video, I went into it extremely excited about the group, and then I kind of came down from that as I went guy by guy, just because you could easily see a scenario where Eric Gentry gets hurt, and then your two linebackers are Jaden Walker and Desmond Stevens, and maybe they're not ready yet for the spotlight. There's absolutely a world where that could happen. But overall, I do feel good about it. Definitely not as good as the safeties or the defensive line, but better than the corners is what I'll say. And guys, of course, I would love to hear from you. Please let me know any thoughts you have about the Trojan linebacker room down below in the comment section. If you did happen to enjoy another episode of the Fall Camp Preview Series, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for all the support. You're all awesome. And as always, take care and fight on.